likely true.
How dark it looks ahead.
Oh, my friend, full pause. She's coming to the edge. What if she should break into bits when she falls off?
Ah, here I go.
Oh, my ears and whiskers. Little girls can't leap like rabbits do. Dear me. Oh, dear me.
Is this the end?
The question is there any such thing?
Well, of course there is. Everything comes to an end sometime.
It might be the beginning, you know.
Beginning of what?
How can I tell till I know more about you? The fall didn't hurt you at all?
That it didn't. And it's very curious because it lasted a very long time.
That's because you belong here.
Where am I?
That all depends on what's going on inside of you.
I wish you wouldn't talk nonsense.
I wish you mind your manners.
I didn't mean to be rude.
Then don't be. It doesn't work down here.
I only asked, where am I?
And I told you, you're where you belong. And that all depends on what's going on inside of you.
I don't know what you mean.
How do you suppose you got down my rabbit hole?
I fell. I was sitting by my sister on the riverbank, and I saw you run by. You were talking to yourself. Then you pulled the watch out of your pocket and looked at it. That made me so curious, I ran after you. When you popped down a rabbit hole, I just popped down after you.
And you entirely forgot that little girls can go leaping down rabbit holes?
Why, yes. I just felt inside of me. I had to know what you were doing.
Exactly. And so here you are. And you never once thought about how you're going to get back.
Oh dear, I think I shall go back now. Back where I came from?
It's one thing to think so and another to do it.
Well, anyway. I wish you wouldn't talk nonsense. And I wish you wouldn't contradict me. I didn't mean to be rude.
Well, don't be. It doesn't work down here.
Is there any way to get out of here?
Dozens of ways. There's a way for me and a way for you, and one for Johnny and one for Sue. But you can't go back, and you won't go alone, for every Jack has a way of its own. Now you're waiting in the garden where the child's held.
How can I get there?
You can't.
It's very confusing, I'm sure. First you say I must go to it, and then you say I can't.
I didn't say that. I said you couldn't go to it.
Then how am I to get through it? Answer that.
When you belong in the garden, it'll come to you.
I never saw a garden move.
You never saw much, and that's a fact. Oh, my whiskers! The Duchess! The Duchess!
Wait, rabbit! Wait, white rabbit! Wait, I tell you, wait!
What a rumpus. Can I never find a place for a quiet smoke?
Rabbit! Rabbit!
Someone's calling you. Can't you make her keep still? It puts me out of sorts.
You talk to her, won't you?
What about?
Tell her about her garden. Tell her it'll never come to her until she learns to keep her temper.
You rabbit! White rabbit!
Such a temper. You better wait and tell her yourself.
I can't. It'll make me late. I promised her just to speak a piece out of her heart. I should speak how doth the little how doth the little busy bee improve each shining hour, and gather honey all the day from every fragrant flower. Beautiful, isn't it?
If
You
like-
rabbit! White rabbit!
If you like it, it makes me feel contrary.
You tell her about her temper.
I will she makes me feel friendly. If she makes me feel contrary, I'll be contrary. I won't tell her a single thing.
I declare, it's too bad for her that it is. Oh,
Who are you?
I hardly know. At least, I knew who I was when I got up this morning, but I think I must have turned into someone else.
What do you mean? Explain yourself.
I can't explain myself, you see, because I'm not myself.
I don't see.
Well, when I got up this morning, I was Alice, just Alice. But a little while ago, I was the size of a rabbit, and now I'm the size of a mushroom. Being so many sizes in a day is confusing.
It isn't.
You might not think so yet, but one day you'll turn into a chrysalis, and after that, into a butterfly. You'll feel I was. I'll try to know things I knew before. 4 times 5 is 12.
Wrong.
I'll try geography. London is the capital of Paris. That's not said right.
Try some poetry.
I'll recite How doth the little. How doth the little crocodile improve its shining tail, and pour the waters of the Nile on every fragrant scale. Some of the words have gone altered.
It's wrong from beginning to end.
You see, I've changed a great deal.
You haven't.
The things you say are no use to me.
They
I
are.
want to find the garden where the trial is held. The things you say are no use to me at all.
They are.
If you're going to contradict every single thing I say,
I'm not.
well, you have been, and you can't deny that.
I can. Wait, I have something important to say. Keep your temper.
Is that all?
No. Go to the Duchess's house. Knock on her door.
I don't see any door.
There is.
Well, that was a very civil occur. Find the Duchess's house. But a door can't magically appear. It just doesn't make sense. That must be the Duchess's house. Now, I'll keep my temper. No matter what, I'll keep my temper.
There's no sort use of knocking. I'm on the same side as doors here.
Please then, how am I to get in?
Are you to get in at all? That's the first question.
I'd like to ask the Duchess the way to the garden.
They're making such a noise in there. Nobody could hear you.
Then what am I to do?
Anything you like.
There's no use talking to you. I'll just go in myself. Ha-choo, ha-choo, ha-choo. There's ha-choo. Certainly too much pepper in that soup.
Too much? You mean too little? Here, taste.
Achoo, 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 achoo.
Speak gruffly to your little boy and beat him when he sneezes. He only does it to annoy because he knows it teases. Be quiet, pig.
You shouldn't call your baby names.
If everyone minded his own business, the world would go on a lot faster than it does. I speak severely to my boy and beat him when he sneezes, for he can thoroughly enjoy the pepper when he pleases.
Please, mind what you are doing.
Here, you may nurse if you like. I've got to get ready to play croquet with the queen in the garden. Bring in the soup. The house will be going any minute. Tidy up and catch us.
She said in the garden. Will you please tell me?
I'm not in the mood to talk about gardens.
Well, I must ask someone, what sort of people live around here?
To the right lives the Mad Hatter. To the left lives the Marcher. Visit either. They're both mad.
I don't want to go among mad people.
You can't help it. We're all mad here. Give me the pig.
You shouldn't call the baby names.
That's all you know.
I wonder which shall I visit first, the Mad Hatter or the March Hare? Mad Hatter. A hatter who makes hats, and that is crazy. A crazy hatter and a March Hare. The hare is a rabbit should go with the Mad Hatter. Or my chair. No, not Hatter. Maybe my chair.
Here's a place clean as clean, not a single crumb.
Help me move the table.
They didn't seem to see me. Now, I'll be polite, because I must find out the way to the garden. Because, of course, the rabbit is talking nonsense. A garden couldn't come.
Did you tell the dormouse to bring the chairs?
I couldn't find her.
She's asleep. I put her in the teapot.
Then we'll have to carry a teapot an hour and push her.
Be quick, or the tea will get cold.
If you please, will you tell me?
No room.
There's plenty of room.
Have some candy.
I don't see any.
There isn't any.
Well, that wasn't very civil of you to offer it.
Then it wasn't very civil of you to sit down here without being invited.
I didn't know it was your table. It's laid for a great many more than 3. If you please, will you tell me?
Shall we tell her?
You don't know what I'm going to ask yet.
It doesn't matter what it is.
What matters is how you behave.
Ask her a riddle.
Why is a raven like a writing desk?
I think I can answer that.
Do you mean you can find out the answer to it?
Exactly so.
Then you should say what you mean.
I do, at least, mean what I say. That's the same thing, you know.
Not the same thing to be. You might just as well say I see what I eat is the same as I eat what I see.
You might just as well say I like what I get is the same as I get what I like.
You might just as well say that I breathe when I sleep is the same as I sleep when I breathe.
Have you guessed the riddle yet?
Why is a raven like a writing desk? No, I give up. What's the answer?
I haven't the slightest idea.
Nor I.
Well, you should think you should find something better to do with your time than ask silly riddles with no meaning to them.
There's nothing to do with our time here. It's always tea time.
Is that why so many tea things are laid out?
Yes, that's it. That's it. It's always 6 o'clock here.
And so you keep moving round, I suppose.
Exactly so. I want a clean cup now. I'll move one place.
Wake up. Wake up. We want to move.
Pour some hot tea on her nose.
It's no use. She will wake up. We'll have to move her.
It's very trying to have a watch always at 6 o'clock.
I told you to put some butter in it.
Oh, please don't do that. You'll spoil it.
It's the best butter.
Oh, you mustn't.
Have you ever tried it?
No.
Then hold your tongue. Hand me the bread knife.
Well, anyway, don't put it in with the bread knife. You're bound to get crumbs in it.
Maybe that's just what he needs.
You'll stop your watch.
How can I stop it when it isn't going?
Answer that.
I can't, but
Then hold your tongue.
It was the best butter, you know.
Try some hot tea.
It's no use. She will wake up. It's still 6 o'clock.
this place isn't very tidy.
What's good enough for us is good enough for you.
If it was good enough for you, then why didn't you stay there?
The rule is move down 3 places.
But now that there's 4 of us,
If you can't be civil, you better wait till you're invited.
it was very kind of you to take me in, I'm sure.
I let the young lady recite some poems.
I don't think I would get it quite right.
Recite, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Twinkle, twinkle.
Pincher.
Begin. Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder what you're at. It's not said right.
It's not right.
Twinkle, twinkle.
You pinch her. She doesn't mind me.
Oh, you spilled the milk.
Pick it up at once.
I can't pick up milk.
You can't do much, and that's a fact.
If I had a cloth, I'd be glad to wipe it up. It's soaked onto the ground, too.
There's plenty of clean ground. Help us move the table.
And think everything that begins with the letter M.
Why M?
Why not?
Mouse traps, the moon, memory.
If you please, will you tell me? Will you be also very kind as to tell me the way to the garden where the trial is held?
Just keep on the way you're going.
Thank you, O Dormouse, O Hatter, O March Hare. You're welcome. Goodbye, O Dormouse, O March Hare, O Hatter.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, goodbye. Keep on going the way I'm going, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here in one place.
The question is there any such thing?
Well, of course there is. Every place is one place.
Certainly not. For instance, this is the place where you lost your temper, wasn't it?
I'm afraid so.
That's one. And it's the place where you kept it, isn't it?
Yes.
That's two. And it's the place where there wasn't any garden, wasn't it?
And yet, I did keep my temper. I was very polite.
That's three. And now it's a place where there is a garden. That's four.
What a lovely garden. Only, I don't see any room for a trial.
How do you know you don't?
Well, there'll have to be jury boxes and seats for the judges. I don't know what they are, but I've read about them in the newspaper.
That's because you don't belong in the trial yet. When you do, the jury boxes will be right here.
Will it be like the garden, when I don't know when it'll come?
Yes, and you'll have to run very fast, very, very fast.
Why must I run if the trial's going to be right here?
It'll be one of those times. You'll have to run as fast as you can to get anywhere else, or even faster.
I wish you wouldn't talk nonsense.
Well, if you're going to lose your temper again,
I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. I can't seem to help it. All the creatures find fault with me. It upsets me.
that's because you're afraid you don't amount to much. You'll never belong in the trial until you get over that.
Can you tell me how to stop feeling like this?
I can, yes, but it's no use whatever to tell you.
Why not?
You will never know until you've done it.
It seems sort of easy. Just not to let them make me feel good for nothing.
That's it.
I can hardly wait to find someone and begin.
I agree.
Beautiful soup, cerise and green, waiting the hot tree for just the teen will not stoop. Soup of the evening, beautiful soup. Soup of the evening, beautiful soup. Beautiful soup, beautiful soup. Soup of evening, beautiful, beautiful soup. Who was that?
It's a mock turtle.
I've never heard of a mock turtle.
It's what they make mock turtle soup of course.
I think I'm a little afraid of him. I suppose it's because I'm not used to him.
You should be glad of that. The thing to be most afraid of is getting used to things. Something you never saw before is exciting.
Well, anyway, I haven't the least idea what a mock turtle is, but I won't let him make me feel good for nothing, because he can't sing at all very well, and I was chosen to sing on the last day of school. I declare, he's coming here. I must begin at once.
That's not how you do it. The way to feel good for nothing is to forget about it. And the way to forget about it is to remember someone else. Now I wonder whether she'll come across anyone who makes her forget about it. Well, it won't make a difference in the taste of carrot.
What curious manners, but I'm supposed to have had many lessons in manners.
Manners aren't taught in lessons.
That's all you know about it.
It's the very first lesson we have in school. The master was an old turtle. We call him Tortoise.
Why would you call him Tortoise if he wasn't one?
We call him Tortoise because he thought us who are really dull.
How many hours each day in these lessons?
10 hours the first day, 9 the second, and 8 the third, and so on.
How did you manage the 11th day?
We danced the lobster quadrille.
I've never heard of a lobster quadrille.
I don't suppose you can dance it with us.
I think I can, if you'll show me the steps. I took a prize in dance class last Sunday. Let's begin.
Will you walk a little faster? Said a whitey to a snap. There's the purpose close behind the fancy setting on my tap. See how eagerly the lobster and the turtle all and dance? They are waiting on the shingle. Will you come and join the dance? Will you want to join the dance?
There's no use going out with her. She doesn't know anything at all.
Would not, could not join the dance. Would not, could not join the dance.
You stepped on my toes and got in my way. I wouldn't learn the lobster quadrille for anything in the world.
No, how?
Contrary why?
If you think we're experts, you have to pay, you know.
If you think we're alive, you have to speak. I'm very sorry if I was rude, I'm sure.
I know what you're thinking, but it isn't so.
Contrary-wise, if it was so, it might be, and if it was so, it would be, but as it isn't, it ain't. That's logic. No, I was thinking, I know who you are. Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
You'd be going wrong. The first thing in a visit is to say howdy do and shake hands.
You see, I can dance, when it's a sensible dance.
Did you think you couldn't?
Well, everything I try to do is wrong.
What sort of things?
Poetry,
Do you like poetry?
some, when I know what it means. That sounds clever.
The trouble is not everything that sounds clever is clever, know how?
Contrary-wise.
We must find out if she's stupid or does she only seem stupid.
Which I have no poem, which shall we recite?
The walrus and the carpenter is the longest.
And it has illustrations. Is this some sort of examination to see whether you are clever or stupid?
Oh, oysters come and walk with us, the walrus did we see. A pleasant talk, a pleasant walk along the rainy beach. We cannot do it more than force to give a hand to each.
You haven't come to the picture yet.
Know how?
Contrary-wise. Then 4 other oysters hurried up, all eager for a treat. Their cuffs were brushed, their faces washed, their shoes were clean and neat. And this was odd because you know they hadn't any feet. The shoes are here, but you haven't come to the picture yet. There are more than 4.
Then 4 young oysters followed them and yet another 4. And thick and fast they came at last with more and more and more. All hopping to the frothy race and scrambling to the shore.
You're close to the picture. Now, listen very carefully. The walrus and the carpenter walked on a mile or so, and then they rested on a rock conveniently low. And all the little oysters stood and waited in a row. What were they waiting for?
Know how?
Contrary-wise. Don't you feel at all very well? That's it. You've come to the picture. I passed the first part.
That sounded better than clever, you know. Now we must see if you can repeat one of the stanzas correctly.
Well, begin. The time has come, the walrus said, to talk of many things. Of shoes and ships and sealing wax, of cabbages and kings, and why the sea is boiling hot and whether pigs have wings. I'll do my best. The time has come, the walrus said, to talk of many things, of shoes and ships and sealing wax, and cabbages and kings, and why the sea is boiling hot, and whether pigs have wings. I did it! I did it! I don't think I was ever so happy in my life. Shake! Oh!
Mom, it's the Chris Cray game.
Off with his head! You did it!
No, you did it. You did it. No, you did it. You did it. Stop out of my tongue. Stop. You're wrong. I didn't care. I told you to do it. I ordered you. You did it. You did it. You told me to do it.
Can you play croquet?
Yes.
To the
Wonderland world, it was Alice who said, "I'll have mallet in hand and a ball on my head. Let the Wonderland creatures, whoever they be, come play with the red bee, the white bee, and me. And set up the wickets as fast as you can, and sprinkle the players with buttons and brands. Put cats in the coffee and mice in the tea, and welcome our Alice with 30 times 3. Oh, Wonderland creatures, oh, Alice, draw near. 'Tis an honor to see me, a favor to hear. 'Tis a privilege higher, come begging to see, along with the red queen, the white queen, and me.
You're all very kind, I'm sure. But if I am to play with queens,
Speak when you're spoken to.
but if everyone obeyed that rule and only speak when they were spoken to, and if the other person always waited for you to begin, nobody would ever talk at all.
What did you mean by if I'm to play with queens?
You can't play with us, until you have passed the proper examination.
What did you mean?
I only said if.
She said she only said it.
And she said a great deal more than that.
A great deal more.
I'm sure I didn't mean to.
You should have meant, what do you suppose is the use of a child without any meaning? Even a joke has a meaning, and a child is more important than a joke. I hope!
You couldn't deny that if you tried with both hands.
I don't deny things with my hand.
Nobody said you did! Can you do addition?
Yes.
What? 1 and 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 1.
I don't know. I lost count.
She can't do addition. Can you do subtraction?
Well, the bone wouldn't remain if I took it. And the dog wouldn't remain. It would come to bite me. And I'm sure I shouldn't remain. I think nothing remains.
Wrong! The dog's temper will remain.
I don't see.
She doesn't see. The dog will lose his temper, wouldn't he?
I suppose so.
Then if he went away, his temper would remain, wouldn't it?
She
can do sums a bit.
I can so, if they're proper sums.
Recite your Old Father William.
I don't know that one, but I can recite part of the Walrus and the Carpenter.
Repeat after me. Your Old Father William, the young man cried. The hair which was left you is gray. Yet you're a strong Father William, a hardy old man. Now tell me the reason I pray.
I think I can remember that.
Don't interrupt!
In the days of my youth, Father William replied, I remembered that youth would fly fast. And abuse on my health and my vigor at first, that I never might need them at last. Now repeat the whole.
In my days, Father William, the young man replied, I fear I might injure the gray. But now that I'm perfectly sure I have done, I'll do it again and again. That's not said right.
Try the second stanza.
In my youth, Father William replied to his son, which hair has left you is gray, and yet you instantly stand on your head. Do you think at your age that is right?
That's not said right.
Not quite right, I'm afraid.
It's wrong from beginning to end.
How tall do you say you were?
I'm 4 feet and...
Wrong!
She never said a word like that.
Oh, I thought you meant how tall are you?
If I meant that, I said that. There's glory for you.
There's glory!
I don't know what you mean by glory.
I mean, there's a nice knockdown argument for you.
But glory doesn't mean a nice knockdown argument.
The word means just what I choose it to mean, neither more nor less.
The question is whether you can make a word mean so many different things.
The question is, which is to be mastered? You or your words? That's all.
That's all!
Well, anyway, I don't believe.
She doesn't believe.
I'll give you something to believe. I'm just 101 years old, 5 months and 1 day.
I can't believe that.
Try again. Draw a long breath and shut your eyes.
It's no use. I can't believe impossible things.
She doesn't believe. I dare say she hasn't had much practice. When I was her age, I always did it for half an hour each day. Sometimes I believe as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast.
Did you say you can play croquet?
I used to be very good at it.
Well, let's see you hit the stake.
I'll give you 3 strokes. Hit or off with your head.
I wish you wouldn't all keep looking at me.
Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle.
Miss!
1! It isn't fair. She jumped.
On with the game.
Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle.
Miss!
2! This isn't fair.
On with the game.
Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle.
Miss! 3! Off with your head.
The king will pardon you as soon as she's out of sight. He always does.
What was it you said?
It was of no consequence, Your Majesty. No consequence at all.
Where are the tarts?
Tarts?
He stole my tarts. Off this head. Off this head. Executioner.
No, Your Majesty. It wasn't the name.
Silence.
But it wasn't the name.
Who are you?
Who are you?
You can't say off with your head without a real trial.
Who says so?
I say so.
The trial's beginning.
Run! Run!
And so she did it.
Did what?
We stayed where we were till time for the trial. That's speed.
But it looks like the very same garden we were in when we started to run.
You'd have to run twice as fast to get anywhere else. It takes everything you got to keep the clock from turning back.
How strange.
It happens every day, only you don't notice it.
They're going to be late. Come and help them along.
If you please, I like to rest a little.
Okay.
I think the trial has really come here. Those look like jury boxes and seats for the judges. Only, there seems to be a great many more. I declare, it's too bad to have to run like that just to stay where you are.
It's worse to go backwards, you know.
Do you think the knave really stole those hearts?
What's your opinion?
Well, it would be easier to know what I was talking about, but I don't think they were the queen's hearts. I saw someone else eat them.
You're wrong about that. The less you know, the faster you get opinions.
Well, anyway, the queen has no right to say, "Off with your head!" without a real trial. Suppose the knave didn't do it.
That'd be all for the better, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would be all for the better if he didn't do it. But it wouldn't be all for the better of him being punished.
You're wrong about that. Were you ever punished?
Only when I done the thing that I shouldn't.
And you're all the better for it, I know.
Yes, but then I had done the thing that I was punished for.
But if you hadn't done it, it would still be the better for it.
I suppose so. Just as them giving it to the knave without them checking the cook. I can't stand it.
You stand the thing whether you can or not.
Well, then I won't let it happen. That I won't.
Oh, my whiskers, here they come.
Dun 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 dun. Attend, hut. Eddie, sit.
You were all late. Off with your heads. You were late yourself, Your Majesty.
We don't mention that.
What are you writing?
We are writing down their names in case we forget them before the trial is over.
Order in the court.
Harold, read the accusation.
The Queen of Hearts, she made some tarts, all on a summer day. The Knave of Hearts, he stole those tarts and took them Quite a way.
Consider your verdict.
Not yet. There's a great many more to come before that.
What?
Well, witnesses.
Call the first witness.
The cook.
Were you in the kitchen when the queen made the tarts? You saw her make the tarts?
Yes.
Was there anyone else in the kitchen?
Yes.
Woman or man?
Ma'am,
Describe his costume.
I couldn't see him.
That's because he didn't look where he was, Your Majesty.
Where was he?
He was hiding under tables, behind doors, in flour barrels, in ovens, or things.
Then how do you know he was there?
I heard him.
What did you hear?
He sneezed.
Try the prisoner with the peppers.
The prisoner was in the kitchen.
Write it down.
It isn't fair. You should try the other men too.
Quiet.
But it isn't fair.
The cook may stand down.
Order in the court.
The cook may stand down.
Sham?
Off with this hay.
Your Majesty, I'm on the ground as it is.
Then you may stand aside. Call the prisoner.
The knave of hearts. Smile in the presence of the king. I said smile, not smirkle. Mouth is semicircle.
That's the proper style. That's the proper style. Jurors, listen closely. I'm about to make a searching test. Prisoner, do you know what's hard to me?
I can answer that. You take some flour.
Where do you pick up your flour? In the garden or the window boxes?
It isn't picked, it's ground. How many acres of ground? You mustn't leave out so many things.
Flour isn't measured in acres. It's measured in cups or barrels. The cook is spelling it wrong.
It's of no consequence. It's plain. He knows how to make tarts. That proves he was hiding under tables or in barrels, watching the queen and her cooking. Write it down.
That's not proven evidence. At least, I don't think it is.
Who are you?
Yay!
Suppress the applause.
Hold that evidence.
You have fresh evidence?
No, I thought I saw an elephant carrying on a fly. 5. I looked again and saw it was a letter from my wife. And then I regret the bitterness of life.
That's the most important bit of evidence we had yet. That practically proves the prisoner guilty. Let the jury consider carefully.
Not yet. You can't do that. If anyone can explain it, I'll give him 6 pence. I don't believe there's an atom of meaning in that.
If there's no meaning in it, that saves the world of trouble, you know, as you need not try to find any.
Well, then you can't call it evidence against the poor knave.
It's very provoking to be told you can't call a thing evidence. You wish you call it evidence. I call anything evidence. Impenetrability. That's what I say.
Impenetrability! Will you please tell me what impenetrability means?
By impenetrability, what I meant just now, we had enough of that subject. It would be just as well if you would hold your tongue, as I don't suppose you would sit here the rest of your life interfering with this trial. So
I shall interfere with this trial just as long as it isn't fair. So,
Your Majesty must cross-examine the knave of hearts.
Well, if I must, I must. Where were you when the tarts set out to pour?
in the garden,
Did you see anyone else there?
I saw him cook.
Nothing of the sort, Your Majesty. Ask him if he spoke with anyone.
Did you speak with anyone?
He spoke with me.
Did he show any signs of eating tarts?
He's eating a great many.
How do you know?
He paid me compliments.
I deny that.
You haven't forgot the identical spot where he stopped me from thinking the city, and he said I was playing unacceptably vain, but I knew you had meant I was pretty.
I didn't know I meant that.
He's too afraid to find out what he means.
nonsense. Rub it out.
Your Majesty must cross-examine the ditty.
Call the ditty.
The ditty.
There was a pig who sat alone beside a ruined pond. By day and night he made his moan. It would have turned a heart of stone to see him riding his flute and drum, because he could not jump. Rose the pig and jumped the last against the ruined pond. He first saw red and then saw black and rode the river right on his back. His snout caved in, his bones lay cracked. It was a fatal jump.
And the prisoner spoke about the ditty when you had finished.
At the top of his voice.
And he didn't know what you meant. They looked very bad.
Ha!
Evidence?
The Mad Hatter.
I thought I saw a rattlesnake that questioned me in Greek. I looked again and saw it was the middle of next week.
The middle of next week?
The middle of next
He looks guilty.
He acts guilty.
He is guilty! We're ready with the verdict!
Suppress the dormouse!
Shall we say it or sing it?
You can't possibly be ready to give the verdict yet.
Sing it.
I'll tell them everything I can. There's little to relate. I saw a name, H-Man, sitting on a gate. Who are you, H-Man? I said, and how does he live? The sentence dripped through my head like water to a sea. If art by change, put my fingers into glue. My heart is sweet, the right hand foot to the left hand shoe. My palm to draw a very heavy weight. The weak remind me so of the old man I used to know. Summer evening long ago was sitting on a gate.
Summer evening long ago was sitting on a gate. There's nothing in that song to consider. You can't call it a verdict.
I can and I do.
It's just nonsense.
I hadn't come to the verdict. That must be whispers.
Our verdict is...
Do you call that a whisper? If you do such a thing again, I have you buttered. Silence. Rule 42. Any child who laughs out loud must leave the court.
That isn't a rule. You just made it up right now.
It's the oldest rule in the book.
Then it ought to be number 1.
On to execution.
Anyway, you can't do that.
First the execution, then the verdict, then the trial.
You haven't had a sensible trial yet.
Anyway, we have had a trial.
Well, you haven't called all the witnesses yet. I have some evidence to give.
Your Majesty, here's some evidence I picked up in the garden. A scroll. A scroll.
What is in it?
It seems to be a letter written by the prisoner.
Who is it directed to?
It isn't directed at all, and that's the strange part of it.
Is it in the prisoner's handwriting?
It isn't in the prisoner's handwriting, and that's the curious thing about it.
Please, Your Majesty, I can't write like that. If they can't prove that I wrote that, my name's not signed at the end.
His name's not signed at the end.
If he didn't sign it, that only makes matters worse. That proves, and he must have been up to some mischief, or he sounded like an honest man.
I think I could read it.
Harold, read it.
It's not a letter at all. It's a set of verses. I think he's disguised his handwriting.
It's a secret code.
Please, Your Majesty, I couldn't write like that if I tried.
Don't try to pull the wool over my eyes. Your witness to know for itself to me. Very well. Begin at the beginning and go on so you come to the end.
I can't read it.
I know where that's from. If I can remember what I was doing, I was combing my hair in front of the mirror. That's looking glass right. All you have to do is turn it backwards. Jabberwock.
Is she so sure? Let her read, Your Majesty, without a stop.
I'll give you 182 seconds.
Jabberwocky. Thosberg Lee and the Sydney Toves, thy grin and gibble in the wave, all misty where the brogruves and the mome wrath outgrave. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the jub bird and the fearful bandersnatch. He took his rofle sword in hand, long time Max Mum foe he saw, and rested he by the tum-tum tree, and stood a while in thought. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through the vocal blade went snicker-snacker, lifting it with his head dead. Come here, my Beamish boy, Calloo Calais.
182!
Say,
How do we know that's what it says?
all you have to do is turn it backwards and look for yourself.
Hold your tongue.
Off with our head!
Off with her head.
Who are you? You don't amount to much. You're nothing but a pack of cards. The sky, the riverbank, my kitten, kitty, kitty,